Skipping ahead to Mosiah 23. Now Alma, having been warned of the Lord that the armies of King Noah would come upon them, they departed into the wilderness before the armies of King Noah. And the Lord strengthened them, and the people of King Noah could not overtake them. They fled 8 days into the wilderness, and they came to a land, yea, even a beautiful, pleasant land, a land of pure water. They pitched their tents and began to till the ground, to build buildings. They were industrious and did labor exceedingly. The people were desirous that Alma should be their king, but he said, Behold, it's not expedient that we should have a king. Thus saith the Lord, Ye shall not esteem one flesh over another. One man should not think himself above another. So, now I'm saying, it's not expedient that you should have a king. Nevertheless, if it were possible to always have just men as a king, it's okay to have a leader to relay that one voice that you all have. But remember the iniquity of King Noah and his priests. I myself was caught in a snare and did abominable things in the sight of the Lord. It caused me sore repentance. Nevertheless, after much tribulation, the Lord did hear my cries and answered my prayers and made me an instrument in his hands. And I brought so many of you to the knowledge of his truth. But I don't glory of myself, I am unworthy. You were oppressed by King Noah and have been in bondage to him, and his priests brought even into iniquity. Therefore ye were bound with bounds of iniquity. And now you've been delivered by the power of God out of these bonds, yet even out of the hands of King Noah. I desire that you should stand fast in this liberty wherewith ye have been made free. Trust no man to be king over you right now. Trust no one to be your teacher or your minister, except he be a man of God, walking in his ways, keeping his commandment. Alma taught that every man should love his neighbor as himself, and that there should be no contention. Alma was their high priest, the founder of their church. None received authority to teach or preach except by him. He consecrated all the priests. They were just men. They watched over the people and nourished them with things pertaining to righteousness. They began to prosper. They called the land Helaman. They multiplied, built a city, the city of Helaman. Alas, the Lord saw fit to chasten his people and tried their patience and faith. Nevertheless, whosoever putting their trust in him shall be lifted up at that last day. Behold, I will show to you. They were brought into bondage, and none could deliver except the Lord their God, even the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He showed forth his mighty power. He did deliver them. There was great rejoicings. Behold, while they were in the land of Helam, in the city of Helam, tilling round about, the army of the Lamanites were in the borders of the land. Brethren of Alma fled the fields and gathered together. They were frightened, but Alma went forth and stood and exhorted them to be not afraid, that they should just remember the Lord their God. He would deliver them. They hushed their fears and began to cry to the Lord that they would soften the hearts and spare them and their wives and children. The Lord spared them, but the Lamanites took possession of the land of Helam. The army of the Lamanites lost in the wilderness. But eventually they found those priests of King Noah in the place called Amulon. They tilled the ground. Also the name of the leader of those priests was called Amulon. The priests called for their wives, their now wives. These were the missing daughters. And they sent them out to plead with the brethren that they destroy not their husbands. And the Lamanites did have compassion, and they did not destroy them. They all joined together and traveled into the wilderness to find the land of Nephi. They discovered the land of Helam and passed by Alma and his brethren. The Lamanites promised Alma life and liberty if he would just show them the way to the land of Nephi, but after Alma showed them, they changed their tune and they set guards around the land of Helam. The rest of them went to the land of Nephi. Some returned to the land of Helam with their wives and the children of the guards. And the king of the Lamanites granted Amulon the title king of his people in the land of Helam. However, he shall have no power to do anything contrary to the king of the Lamanites.